So, David, I want to get something straight. You've got protesters out there at various sites where these votes are still being counted. Is there any evidence anywhere that the count or the election has been undermined, that secretly dumped ballots are happening anywhere, as the Trump campaign has alleged?
Emily, thanks for asking me that. There is no evidence to call into question the integrity of the election, nor is there any evidence that should call into question the integrity of the vote counting process. State and local election officials, considering everything they had to deal with this 2020 election cycle, including the pandemic, the ongoing threat of foreign interference and civil unrest, have performed remarkably up until this point, and hopefully they can continue to do so.
That said, given that the margins are so tight, given that frustration is high, understandably, what needs to be done to make sure that the next few days that the counting process is secure? Are you confident that every possible security measure has been taken?
Yeah, I am confident that state and local election officials, in coordination with their federal partners, such as the Department of Homeland Security and local law enforcement, can help ensure that we have an outcome that reflects the will of the American voters. I think what's really important is that the time and space needs to be given to election officials and our poll workers who may be participating in the vote counting process to ensure that they are able, right, to continue counting votes in a safe and secure manner. And so, as long as everyone else is behaving in a manner that's in accordance with federal and state law, there should be no problems.
Now, I understand that the counting process has improved significantly over the years, has even improved since 2016, but in many ways it feels so low tech and even archaic. The examining of the signature, the adjudicating. Is this process deliberately low technology for a reason?
Sure. The process is low tech in some respects, right, to help ensure that it's secure. One of the things that came out of the 2016 election, but frankly existed even before that, was the knowledge that there are things that can be done to ensure that our elections are secure and further protected from foreign adversaries. One of those things is to have paper ballots. That's a sentiment that's been shared by the National Academy of Sciences, the Senate Intelligence Committee, in a bipartisan manner, as well as many other reputable entities. Another piece of this process as well is making sure that we have paper backups for each part of the election process. And what I mean is election infrastructure consists of many things. It consists of the voting machines. It sometimes consists of the poll books or computers that people go to in order to check in on election day. And technology sometimes fails. And so it's really important to have fail safes, whether it's a backup paper poll book so that voters can continue to check in before they go vote, or it's having additional paper ballots so that if a piece of voting equipment goes down, voters are able to continue voting. And I think, having paper is really important because, again, if a nefarious actor were, for whatever reason, to somehow breach the election infrastructure, we would be able to go back to the paper ballot to ensure the outcome of the results.
So, do you expect that technology in the future will be incorporated to make the process better or faster so it doesn't take, a full day to get new results from Nevada, for example? Or is that just not going to happen? Is this always going to be a slow and methodical process?
I'll first, I step back and say that, while the tradition in previous elections was to be able to announce results for candidates on election night, that's not really how our system is designed, right? Each of the 50 states have a process, right, that in which they certify election results days or even weeks after election night. And part of the reason why we have that period of time is that even when we have election technology that we might use to expedite the voting process, we ultimately have ways to go back and check, right, in a manual manner, what exactly our technology has provided so that we can ensure with a great deal of confidence that, in fact, the outcome reflects the will of the American people. So I do believe technology will and can and will be used going forward to help improve our election processes. But I do believe that having manual processes in place is absolutely critical to ensuring, right, the security and integrity of our elections. And I think the 2020 election is a good example of that.